Welcome back to News at Noon on ABC 36 News Now.
Hey, welcome back in, friends. Well, summertime right around the bend. That can lead to some shifts in schedules and in eating habits for some families. So air fryers could be a solution for creating some different meal opportunities, maybe jazz things up a little bit.
Yep, why not? And if you haven't used one, we have some tips and tricks for best practices. So joining us now is Jessica Hunley, University of Kentucky Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so tell us, why would someone want to consider using an air fryer, especially over a regular stove or anything like that?
Absolutely. With some schedule changes and for families throughout the summer as things are shifting from school mode to summer mode, the air fryer could be a great option for them. It kind of reduces their cooking time, it reduces a lot of the materials that they need, and you've reduced your cooking time by 20% per recipe. So that can obviously be a benefit for a lot of families that are maybe time crunched. And it's a healthy option as well without all of the oils and the fats and things that you get with regular frying.
I'll buy 20% time back to get a meal prep going.
Absolutely.
So for folks not familiar with air fryers or maybe haven't picked one up yet, can you kind of give us a quick primer on different types and what we should be looking for?
Absolutely. There are all kinds of different ones on the market and they vary vastly in their cost and their features. You'll see some that are kind of like an oven, and then you'll have those that are kind of like the one here where they are the typical standard machine with a basket. And so with that, they want to be sure that you get the functions that you want and will use. Some of them are a little more high tech and they dehydrate as well as bake and do rotisserie and those things. And then one like this, it just focuses on.
And does the volume, like based on the size of the air fryer, does that change like the volume of what it can hold?
Absolutely. So you'll have different size baskets and you want to kind of gauge which style you like according to what those features are.
All right.
All of us seems a little intimidating at first, but I think once people use them, they really become, believers fast.
It takes a little trial and error, but if you refer to your owner's manual and look up and do some research on some recipes, I'm sure you'll find some things that you love.
I think the biggest question I have, because I do a lot of reheating in an air fryer, because it really does make, like for instance, your chicken nuggets for your kids. If you reheat them in an air fryer, they actually taste like they just came from the fast food restaurant. What about like raw meat though? I mean, does it come out juicy or does it dry out? I don't know how that works.
So air frying, along with all the other cooking techniques, we want to make sure we follow food safety procedures. And then we're cooking to that internal temperature. So for leftovers, you want to get to that 165. Poultry is 165, fish is 145, and then ground meats, you're back at 160 again as well.
Okay, and it keeps it juicy. It doesn't doesn't dry it out, because you would think it would. And that's what's shocking about it. When you reheat food, I've noticed it's still juicy.
As long as you're rotating that food in your basket, you're good to go.
Gotcha.
Well, anything that can resurrect saved fast food is pretty much a miracle item
for our household.
On the market here. Okay, and we saw your tips up there just a second ago, and the first one's always a challenge for me. Read the manual. What's that all about, right? But no, a lot of times I think people, grab this off the shelf out of the box, and they only end up using like 10% of its functionality.
They plug it in and they push the button instead of really seeing all the features that they have.
Right. And is there anything else that we need to keep in mind when using the air fryer? Any other tips?
A couple of things that I would keep in mind. With an air fryer, it's meant to reduce the oil that you use in your food. So if you're going to oil, like if you're doing French fries, you want to put the little oil on the food and then throw the food in the basket. Not necessarily oil the machine itself. It's kind of gets a caked on, greasy stink to it.
Oh, good tip.
One other thing that you might want to do is if you're doing marinated foods, you want to make sure that you get most of the marinated drip off before you put the food in the basket, because again, it kind of creates a film.
Gotcha. Good pro tips there, Jessica. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. Where can people find out more information too?
Check out any of your local extension offices. I'm sure that they would be glad to help you.
Awesome.
Jessica, you're working out of our Richmond, UK Extension office, and we appreciate what you guys do. I don't know how you keep the thousands of topics in line that you do, but you guys really are a wonderful resource. Here's some information about the Richmond location there as well. So thanks for bringing this to us, Jessica. We appreciate it. Back after this, gang. Stick around.
ABC 36 Community Spotlight is brought to you by CHI St. Joseph Health, caring for our community with human kindness.